What's up, y'all? Happy Thursday. Happy Boxem office hours to everybody. It was good to see a bunch of you guys on the free class last night. Vibes were
Yeah.
strong. I know a lot of you guys were taking some of that info we were dropping and already making some money off of it. It was cool to see some minds being blown. So if you did miss it, you want to be on the next one. It'll be in 2 weeks. But yeah, let us know what questions you guys got about starting out selling Amazon, shipping products to Amazon, anything Boxem related. Yeah, we are 60 seconds late. Sorry, Diaz. You can take it out of our paycheck or something like
Facts, bro. Big facts.
that.
Yeah, good to see you guys. What's up, Keith? What up, Philip? What up, Phil? Yeah, so whatever questions you guys have, let us know. We can also do some live product research too, as well too, if you guys want as well here.
Absolutely. Keith, you turning in early. Yeah. What's up? Yeah, so let us know what questions you guys got. Yeah, good vibes for sure. There's already a couple of good sales ripping today, just kind of like random stuff going on, and then we've been talking about it, but St. Patrick's Day will usually have some good sourcing opportunities as well. But yeah, that's a big thing to keep in mind. Like as you guys are, especially if you're in the early days, you're trying to get those like first product source, all that kind of stuff. Keep in mind that number one, not all sourcing days are made equal. So if you're not finding anything in like random days in early March and that kind of thing, that's totally fine. You'll find a lot more success on holidays, and that's also why I like to look at like a weekly spend goal or even monthly spend goal. As long as you are taking advantage of those really good opportunities when they're coming around and burning as much capital as possible on those, that'll treat you a lot better in the long run, rather than just kind of like forcing yourself to source when things aren't really clicking and you're not really seeing any deals or anything like that. Like, yeah, those can be good days to send in those shipments, take care of back end stuff, track, dive into profit, see what's working, see what's not, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Warner brings up an excellent point on that, right? In that I'd say right about 50-50, like half of the websites have discounts that are just always going, like a coupon that you can sign up for an email with. And then the other half of websites are only good when they have a sale going, which is probably like, 1/5 of the month or so. So it's building a balance between the two here as well. So Philip says right here, so I'm not Ungating in much, but I'm trying Kohl's with my rewards. What should I try? The key is, Philip, you should never try a retailer. You should never just go to a random retailer and look through their clearance section, right? Or their sales section. That's called manual sourcing. Manual sourcing is way harder for beginners. What makes way more sense is storefront stalking, just looking inside the storefronts of other sellers. So I can even pull up a demo and show you guys what that looks like too as well here. But that's the big thing, is that you don't ever want to just go to random websites and look through their clearance sections. What makes a lot more sense is to start out with storefront stalking, and then eventually your favorite brands, your favorite categories, etc. And then you can go to manual sourcing once you've already validated how to actually go ahead and make the numbers work on something right here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, Philip. Yeah. Yeah, so keep the questions rolling here. Good questions for sure. What's a good base cost to put an FBM cost you're brand new? Yeah, so it's based on the weight, basically. Miles has a good resource for you. If you go to like howtofbm.com, is the URL. And then next time you get an FBM order, just plug in some weights and dimensions and that kind of stuff, and basically just write it down so you kind of have everything stored for the future.
Yep. So you want to pop your boy up on screen here, and we'll dig in on it here.
Yeah, we going into the wormhole here.
Cool. Yeah. So take a look here. So this is actually going to be an example of a product that is better to merchant fulfill compared to FBA, right? So if we take a look at this item over on Amazon, so right off the bat, we can see it's 17 bucks plus $5 shipping. I personally wouldn't recommend charging for shipping. This would sell better if it was just like 21 flat or 22 flat rather than 17 plus 5 shipping, right? But just for sake of example here, let's take a look on this. So this is over on Walmart for $9.98, right? So Walmart, you can submit your tax exempt permit on, right? So Walmart, I currently have, I think, 8% sales tax loaded up. Walmart, if you just Google how to get tax exempt on Walmart here, we can see, boom, business tax exempt shopping here on Walmart, right? So I can submit my documentation, and once I get a resource certificate from my state's website, now I can take off that 8% because I'm not going to be paying that sales tax. And the reason I'm taking off the 8% here is because in my SellerAmp settings, I already have that factored in. So we take off that, right? And this actually is 22 because that seller's charging for shipping here. So we can see right here. So let's take a look. So default, you're going to see the FBA view on SellerAmp. Now, to get the FBM numbers, you do not just subtract shipping from this. That is incorrect. You don't do that whatsoever. Instead, you scroll down here on SellerAmp and toggle fulfillment type from FBA to FBM. And then you need to plug in something for FBM cost right here. It's not just 0, right? So to plug in for FBM cost right there, all you're going to do is scroll up here and take a look at the weight, right? We can see this is 11 ounces, right? And then we go to howtofbm.com here. It's a free guide we got for you guys. We can see the FBM cost guide. Grab a screenshot of this too, right? And so we know this item is probably going to ship for like $5.50 right here. So if we plug in $5.50, we can see FBM, it's a 35% return on investment. FBA, it's a 22% return on investment. And that's the name of the game, is that you miss out on so much of this profit if you're not taking a look at it, especially on items that are above 20 bucks in price point, but below £1, they tend to be much more profitable to FBM. But you only can actually see that and buy these leads that other people are going to miss if you're using the FBM calculator on SellerAmp correctly right there. So yeah, grab a screen cap of this. Very important.
What's up, Thomas? Good to see you guys. Yeah, Thomas, a good follow on Instagram too. You guys check out Thomas on Instagram. So 4 million on Amazon 2 years. All thanks to these guys. What's up, man? Yeah, glad you're still scaling these days.
Yes, sir. Right there. So that's the name of the game here, right? And then another example of winning product here too, guys, right? We can see these, I believe these are the same thing. We could obviously look at the label to verify, but it looks like the same thing, just new packaging. Great value iced tea with lemon right there, great value, boom, low calorie right there, etc. But you would want to verify from label because it is packaging that looks to be new right there, right? So we take a look at this here, right? We can see these are going for, in the buy box, 18, right? So these are 18 bucks on Amazon, right? And then we can see individually, we can pick them up for $2 a piece, basically. So if we plug in 1.98 times 4, we can see that's good. That's close. It's not quite there, right? The ROI is red. The profit's red. We probably want to stay away from something like this. But don't forget, guys, on Walmart, I can submit my tax exempt permit. So if I take off that sales tax, boom, now we're getting close. The ROI is good enough, but the profit isn't quite there, right? And then if we go over to Cardbear, where we can snag discounted gift cards here, Walmart currently has 14% off with GCX. Yesterday it was 17%. Right? So if I get 14% discounted gift cards here, now I take off 14% and there we go. And that is exactly what we talk about, guys, when we talk about not finding items good, making items good. Each website has 1 or 2 tips or tricks that create all the margin on it for the most part. And so that's a perfect example, right? And we can see, interestingly enough, this has really low estimated sales, but literally for a year, it's been profitable at this price.
It's crazy it's been that consistently profitable.
Right? And guys, the reason this is good is because it's hidden behind tax exempt. It's hidden behind discounted gift cards right there, right? So that's what makes this SKU good, right? And the packaging's new, assuming this is the same thing, which it looks like it is, right? So all the money, I like to tell with my coaching guys, is all the money is in the stuff you wouldn't have found on your first day, right? You wouldn't have understood using a reseller certificate. You wouldn't have understood using discounted gift cards. You wouldn't have understood taking advantage of the prime bump where you can price above the FBM sours as an FBA sour. This is a perfect example of that. Look at that right there, right? So we can see, assuming you're fully checked in, there's a very, very good chance you could buy box at 19 or buy box at 19.5 right there because Amazon wants to give you the buy box higher when you're an FBA sour, right? We can see, look at that. Boom, look at that. Look at that. So we can see, interestingly enough, more people are getting the buy box at 19 FBA compared to 18 FBM. So I'm not going to price this at 18. I'm going to price this at 19.5 or 19.25 FBM, and I'm actually going to print 80%. I'm actually going to print 80% on that. To keep going with this, guys, how long have people been on this? Let's go down here to data and then offers. And we can see, I have a feeling someone's going to have been on this for an embarrassingly long amount of, or not embarrassing, a beautifully long amount of time. Let's see. Yeah, dude, 39 months. 39 months ago was when this seller was
crazy. They've been selling that same item for like, dude, 3 years. Yeah.
Dude, forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Keith's also asking if you still do it with that ranking. So it's more just like an example, but clearly that person's been making money on this for like 3.5 years. So set whatever's like interesting for you and your business. We don't want to blow up somebody's like 2,000 sale a month item for an example, like improve the concept.
Yeah, no, all the stuff. Yeah, all the stuff you see from us guys is purely just examples, but like just to show you like what we want you to understand about online arbitrage is that when you realize the 1 or 2 tips or tricks per website, it all opens up to you. So for example, like this item, we can see like if these guys weren't making money, they would have dropped their price, right? They would have dropped their price here, right? So these guys have been on it for a while, are very rich. They have tons of reviews. They have tons of reviews here. So let's see what else they got. Let's see what else these people got. Yeah, 4,000 reviews, right? 1 review, okay, right? But then what about that? Yeah, AK Enterprises or whatever here, right? We can see. Yeah, 2,900 views. So now, guys, don't you think there'll be other good stuff profitable with this discount method of using your reseller certificate and gift cards? I'll tell you straight up, yes. And that's the name of the game for all this stuff. Is you just have to learn the 1 or 2 tips or tricks that create all the profit margin for these different items here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let us know what questions you guys got on that, or anything else you're wanting to dive into here. Let's see. You have everything you need. You're trying to source your first product. Yeah. So use a lot of that we're just diving into. There's also Miles and I both posted a lot of videos recently, just kind of live sourcing some products with you guys. So take advantage of all that. Let's see. How do you set up a VA to actually buy products? So I don't use virtual assistants for buying. You probably have like a friend or family member that you can pay to do it, and you already trust them. You can have a virtual assistant do it. You just need like getting a little higher level. You need like something like WireGuard, so it looks like you're paying from the US. Otherwise, you get a lot of cancels. And you also want to set up a credit card with like a certain limit on it. So just in case somebody goes crazy, they're not spending your entire credit card budget on like running away with your entire credit card. Because if you're a virtual assistant, you can run away with 50 grand, you might do it. But if it's a 3K or 5K daily limit, it's probably a lot less interesting.
For sure. And guys, too, if you want us to do any live ACE interviews, obviously, like, don't send stuff you're selling, but like you can send potential products or just examples you want us to do, and take a look. I think that's really valuable for you guys as well here too.
Yep. Let's see. You have an issue seeing something's actually profitable. You don't know what to put in the cost. Yeah. So you can plug in. There's also just a couple like seller amp settings video. There's plenty of those on YouTube. But 60 cents a pound, or like the FBM cost estimates we were talking about as well.
Yeah, a really good idea too is just take like 30 minutes, watch Warner's full seller amp tutorial, watch mine, watch my full key tutorial, watch Warner's, and that's going to bring you up to speed pretty quick on what that stuff actually looks like here in terms of gauging that. So I'll link that in chat too. Let's see. Kyle says, how do I price my items? Current buy box price, highest price last 30 days per seller amp. Yeah, current buy box price. And then if something's selling really well, raise it higher. Like on that great value item you guys saw a couple minutes ago, the current buy box was FBA, but there was a ton of history up at 19.25 FBA, right? So that's the name of the game with that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's like a good example, right? So if you see a product like this, see how the price is just like hopping up very consistently over and over again. Number one, if you see this keep pattern, it sells really well. Amazon's just doling out sales to anybody within like a couple dollar range, basically. And you can also see like there's a ton of sellers making sales, maybe even it's almost like 50-50, where they're making sales at like $25 all along the bottom here. But there's also a ton of times where these products are selling for like 29. So on this, I'd probably set my minimum at like 28, 28.50, something like that. Only capture all these like higher priced options, and then let them make all the $25 sales, because that's a big difference. It's like $3.50. So it's it's an extra probably $2.50 or so in profit after fees and stuff on that.
Yeah, that's a good brand. I think a lot of those yarn brands are auto ungates too. So if anyone's looking for auto ungates, like take a look at like Red Heart yarn, that's gonna be auto too. How do I know if a product is gated? You'll see on SellerAmp if you connect your Amazon account to SellerAmp, and also when you go and like for example, Jaber, if you go and add a staffer listing to your inventory, it's going to let you list it immediately after you hit request approval and apply to sell. But if you go to list a gap item, it's going to ask you to provide a receipt and documentation right there. So that's essentially the difference on it, basically.
Yep. Yeah, Kyle, you just use Boxem as far as like analytics and shipping goes. That tool you mentioned doesn't do shipments, so you need Boxem anyway, basically. So kind of redundant there.
Yep. How do you use a Walmart online shipping purchase to get ungated? Yeah, dude. So right after you buy it, you're going to get the order confirmation email. That's what you're going to download as a PDF and submit to Amazon right there. We got some new names in chat today. Kyle, I don't think we've seen you here before. Josh as well. Phoenix Ash, welcome to the party, man. We do these streams all the time. We love helping you guys. Make sure you get your questions answered and everything. We're happy to help.
Yep. You said you notice a bunch of items will be steady for a while, then it's getting bricked. Should do the highest price that was steady for a while. So if you're seeing a lot of products where the price like massively goes down, it probably had a big seller increase. So next time, like just make sure you're sourcing things that have a lot of ways to create margin. So that's things like, you know, using those discounted gift cards that Miles was showing you, coupon sales, just kind of making sure that you're doing everything possible to have the lowest price. That way, even if there are other sellers that hop on, they're not as cheap as, or they didn't get it as cheap as you did, so you're making profit when they're not, basically. But yeah, you can usually I'll leave it at the price that like I want it to sell at for like a few weeks, unless there's like a good reason for the price to go back up. So sale went away, you know, seasonality is kind of shifting in its favor, that kind of thing.
I'm on try number 11 to ungate Laura Geller, and I bought it from Manufacturer Direct. They keep declining ungates. Yeah, dude. So unfortunately, getting declined, or not unfortunately, but getting declined for ungates is totally normal. It happens to all of us. I've had it happen over 20 times on one brand. What you could do is, especially once you've fired away with just the email confirmation a couple times, is you're going to have other documentation from that purchase. So like a shipping email, delivery email, you can grab a pic of the shipping label, a picture of the product, and then just find a PDF combiner on Google and get that all combined in one nice thing. You can digitally annotate it as well, which is a good idea too. And you'll be nice and good to go on those.
Yep. Yeah, as far as like where you're buying from, it seems kind of random what they like. Sometimes you buy from a big wholesaler, they say they want that. They'll make you try a bunch. If you buy from a retailer, maybe works on the first try. So just keep submitting, basically. Show them as much information as you can. What's your opinion on eBay to Amazon? So if you're selling as new, you're going to get your account shut down. And
Yeah.
it might not take, you know, it might be a year, it might be 2 years, but eventually Amazon's going to ask you for documentation. If you're selling that stuff in new condition, then buying it from eBay is not an acceptable place to buy as far as Amazon's concerned. So just be careful. It's great. I know you said you're doing, I think you said you're doing a lot like, you said you do video games. So if you're doing like video games, there's a bunch of great used listings where you can make a bunch of money. I've made a bunch of money doing eBay to Amazon selling used books, but I would never list like new stuff that I bought from eBay. Basically, it's too risky on your account health. This is a good question as well. So you like to do a lot of video games, that kind of stuff. How do you break into trying to be an everything seller? Again, I like that. So a lot of your best like video game listings, there's probably other products that those people have sourced. Like I know for a fact I've sourced some like video games from like Walmart and Target and stuff like that, using some discounted gift cards, all that kind of stuff. And obviously I sell a lot more than that, right? So look at your competition and see which of those are already everything sellers, and it might make bridging those a little bit easier, because you know that they've figured out how to sell video games. So whatever they've figured out how to sell beyond that, you can probably figure out as well. Just kind of doing some storefront stalking, basically.
Like the stream, people appreciate you, David. Sam says, I'm currently in the middle of watching your 3-hour-long tour. I'll have to do these Q&As. So at least one of us typically will be live once per day, so, or sometimes even multiple. So subscribe to both of us and turn on our post notifications. And then scheduled one, Sam, is every Monday. We do Money Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we do Seller Amp Seller Hour. And every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we do Boxem office hours right here. So just want to be available as much as possible to get you the content in the game you guys need to hit your goal selling on Amazon.
Yeah, it sounds very YouTubery, but hit the little bell if you want to know when we're live. That goes for all of you guys. Let's see. Yeah, facts, David. Does it have to be an online order of 10 units to get a gator? Can use a receipt? It's pretty much always going to have to be online, just because the receipt's not going to have your personal business information on it, which is really important when you're keeping that in mind, basically.
Yep. Awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah, bro. Sam, we got you, man. Yeah, we got you. Yeah, another tip with Home Depot too. If you got military or nursing discounts, that'll be a fire source for you. Any of you guys who want some game on that can shoot me a DM on Discord too. By the way, because it's Boxem office hours, if you want access to the Boxem Analytics beta, I'm going to drop a link to our free Discord in the chat. If you just shoot me a message, if you're a current Boxem user or new Boxem user, and you want access to the Boxem Analytics beta, hit me up on that. I'm happy to plug you in on that too.
Yeah, a lot of you guys been loving that. Help you cancel something else you're already paying for, because you got like profit and loss, SKU, category, ACE and profit, all that stuff kind of tracked on a very detailed basis now in Boxem. So I'm also biased, of course, but I think it's the prettiest way to look at your data now. It's like a very modern dashboard. You're not stuck with some stuff from the early 2000s anymore.
That's like Flight Reacts be saying that he wouldn't have survived in the early 2000s. Boxem would have done well in the early 2000s. Yeah.
What do you expect roughly from a 5K buying budget? So every dollar you spend is usually going to turn into about $2 in revenue. So if you spend 5K, you're probably going to sell 10K off that, and you're probably going to make anywhere from like $1,500 to $2,500 depending on like the types of products you're buying and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. So let us know whatever questions you guys got too. Important dates coming up for sellers as well. So weirdly enough, there's like daylight savings sales going on in some different retailers here, and then formal holidays coming up. Although daylight savings definitely should be a formal holiday until they take it away. That's an argument for another day. But St. Patrick's Day, then Easter, then Mother's Day, then Memorial Day, then Father's Day, then 4th of July. So like literally like once it strikes like April, it's pretty much like every 2 weeks there's a major holiday. And so sourcing gets way easier. The sourcing hard part of the year is like January to April. And then the easy part of the year is May to December right there.
Yep. Reply on the case log. Yeah, usually. Unless if they say like don't apply again, I'll make a new case. Because they're just not reading the documents basically when they say that. A lot of Amazon reps just click deny for no reason. They just don't want to do their jobs basically.
Yeah, I'd be so curious like what that vibe actually looks like, because you'd think they would get tired of people reapplying too.
If you just do your job, there's a lot less cases. Right?
Yeah. Interesting enough is that they don't on that. Yeah, you can join the stream prior. Typically, we'll have it scheduled for several hours prior, actually.
Yeah, good question from Keith. How old does a product have to be before it starts accruing storage fees? So it's 6 months. Yeah, and there's storage fees every month, but those are pretty minor. So here, I'll even show you up on the screen here. So at 6 months, it starts to get pretty severe. It usually like something has to go pretty wrong for you to still have a product 6 months later. But you can see like, let's say you store the product for 3 months. Storing this particular product at Amazon for 3 months would cost you 83 cents basically, and it's billed per cubic foot. So I think it's a decent sized product. It's like almost a foot by a foot. It's like a pound. Smaller products are obviously going to cost you a lot less. Just kind of keep that in mind as you're sourcing. You could even set this to like 1 month default if you want to assume that your stuff's going to take a second to sell too. If you're not able to source a lot of like really fast selling stuff.
So I'm starting
Need the mullet back. Need the mullet back.
I tried finding profitable products. I know the $3 profit mark and 30% ROI. Then I have to, yes. Okay. So great question from Cree here. So Cree, no trying, just doing here, but you do not need to look for $7 profit items. You're doing the calculations incorrect. That's totally fine. We're going to show you how to do it correctly here. All right. So let's take a look here. Boom. So Warren, you want to pop me up on screen here? Boom. Okay, here we go. So guys, say we paid $5 for this item, right? Or say we paid $2 for this item or whatever, right? So we can see this would mean $5 profit per sale. FBA, this is not the FBM numbers. You would not just subtract $5 from this or $4 from this to get the correct FBM cost, right? It's actually 22, right? But we would not just subtract that here. Instead, what we would do is scroll down here on Seller Amp, right? And then toggle from FBA to FBM. And then we would have to put in our FBM cost right here. How do you know the FBM cost, right? So we have this domain we made for you guys, howtofbm.com, that shows you exactly, honestly, really everything you need to know about FBM, but definitely right here, right? So definitely right here. And then you just plug in the FBM cost based on the weight. Where do you get the weight? Up here on Seller Amp right there, boom, 11 ounces, right? And then so we can see, scrolling back down here, guys, right? We have our weight, probably like 5.5 here, right? $5.75 here. So we can see 5.5. Say we pick this up for $8. We would make a 53% ROI FBM and only a 38% ROI FBA. But you only know that if you use the calculator correctly. So you do not just subtract this to get the FBM numbers. Instead, you scroll down, you toggle over to FBM, you put in that FBM shipping cost, and then you have your exact numbers right there. So that's going to be the name of the game too. Yep. Yeah, no problem. We're going to help you out with it, man. No problem. Right. So you do not subtract it from the FBA calculator. You scroll down, toggle over to the FBM calculator, and then you're good to go.
Yep. Do you need Boxem to keep it good with only Seller Amp? Yeah. So you'll want Boxem so that you actually know what your business is making. And It also saves you a bunch of time as far as shipping goes. So yeah, all those together is like less than $100 a month. And it's kind of all you need for a little while though. So yeah, just whenever you start selling stuff, you obviously need to know what you're making. So you'll want to have Boxem for that. Do you need to create a shipping plan even if you've not yet bought the items you want to sell? So there's no reason to like make the shipping plan until it's like at your house or at the prep center and you're ready to start sending stuff in. Yeah, because some people they'll like list stuff like FBM before it shows up, which can be a little risky, that kind of thing. So yeah, just ship it in when you got a nice pile of stuff in the corner. Usually if you wait till you have like 50 pounds worth of stuff too, unless you're really stretching a budget and you don't see yourself buying that much before too long. But if you have a 50-pound box, it's going to be like the cheapest per pound basically.
Yep. Does SellerAmp calculate shipping that we are paying for when we order online? Pop me up. I'm gonna show you how that breaks down. Yeah. So guys, when you order from a retailer, almost never is it, or pretty much always it's going to be free shipping, but there are some things you want to do in your SellerAmp settings here. So you do want to factor in, so SellerAmp will calculate your inbound shipping cost to Amazon, because that you do pay. We'd recommend putting 80 cents per pound in your SellerAmp settings right there. Right? I'll even drop a link so you guys can open up your SellerAmp settings right there too. So that'll open up your exact settings right there. Right? So you want to put in FBA inbound shipping right there. Right? As well as I would recommend toggling on all of these, right? So it shows your profit margin, your break even, and your offer summary, right? So recommend toggling all those bad boys on too, right? That's actually not for shipping costs, just helpful metrics that I really enjoy, right? And then you also want to go down here, and if you're using a prep center, put in your prep fee. If I wouldn't really recommend putting anything for MISC fee right here. And then MISC fee percent, put your sales tax. So say you live in Texas and don't use a prep center, you would put 8.25 right here. A lot of people have this wrong by accident and don't actually know it. So you can find your sales tax for your area, your state, just on ChatGPT or Google, nice and easy. And then make sure it's correct in your SellerAmp settings here, because a lot of sellers have that backwards and don't even know that their SellerAmp is completely, their SellerAmp numbers that they put in are completely incorrect, right? So recommend putting in your inbound shipping here, so it automatically calculates it in, and recommend putting either your prep center fee or your sales tax right here as well. And then I also just like showing the offer summary too. I'll show you guys what that looks like here. So you do have to toggle this on right there, but it's a really good way to see how FBM friendly an item is or not FBM friendly an item is, because not every item's FBM friendly, right? So we can see. Take a look over here. Boom. So see that offer summary, guys? It's going to pop up here in a sec. Boom, right there. So we can see the offer summary. So you need to toggle this on if you want to see that, which I definitely recommend displaying right there. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. To get ROI on the roadmaps 100,000%. I'd say that's pretty good.
Right? Yeah. And it's only going to keep going up too.
How accurate is selling for FBA? It is completely accurate. It would not be very useful if it did not calculate your fees.
Yeah. I mean, for example, like occasionally it'll be inaccurate when Amazon changes something, but like Amazon's not going to raise fees 50%. You know what I mean? Where it's like literally going to make no difference. Yeah.
Yep. Suggestions of a good prep center. So just start digging through Google. So prep center Oregon, prep center Delaware, that kind of stuff. If you're in the roadmap, just check like the prep center discounts. We got the hookup for you on that. But yeah, just there's tons you can find on Google basically. Yeah, they want your business. It's not that hard to find one.
Oh yeah, not at all. Yeah. And another thing you guys really should do is just be in tune with the Amazon community as much as possible, whether that's just following a ton of people or it's actually like connecting with other sellers personally too. The cool thing is that costs no money. Follow me on Instagram, follow Fields of Profit on Instagram, just Flows for Miles, Fields of Profit, and then hit the recommended. And then you're going to be recommended a ton of other cool Amazon sellers to follow too. Do the same thing on Twitter as well on that. And we'll get you guys right with all that stuff here too. And watch our free course as well. If you guys are at Score One, go through our free courses. Mine's 8 hours, Warner's is 4 hours right there. That 12 hours, you knock it out in a weekend. That'll show you guys everything you need to know, all the terms, all the softwares, how to find products, winning product examples, losing product examples, and everything you guys need to know to get going ASAP.
Yep. Ordered an 8 a few days ago, just arrived, says it's out of stock. Okay, that's a good thing. Yeah. So to get the ASIN, go to the variation wizard. Is what you're looking for. It's on Seller Central. You just plug in one of the ASINs that does exist, and they'll be like the size 8 will be showing up there. And then yeah, you just take that ASIN and throw it into Boxem from there so you can list it. But now that's great though, because you're the only seller and people are probably going to be a little bit blind to that. You'll be very profitable on that for at least a few weeks basically. I say it's quicker, more scalable to start FBM and RA. But if you're so gating's not really an issue, so you can always grab an invoice to get ungated in something as long as it lets you apply. Then it's not really a roadblock. But yeah, don't really let that be a roadblock for you. The auto ungates are just like the lowest hanging fruit. Like you can make money literally a couple days from now, if not today, on auto ungates. So just start there, but don't let gating be a roadblock for you.
Yep. How do you make money on FBM if you have to pay USPS for shipping? Yeah, because the cool thing is you don't pay FBA fees, and FBA fees are based on size and weight. FBM shipping is based on size and weight, so there's almost always the same thing. Therefore, that's how it's profitable basically, is because you don't pay FBA fees when you do FBM. They're
usually very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a dub, Phoenix. Yeah. I like that. I'll have to check it out. Any website, Angelica. Yeah, don't overthink that. Like literally any website that's legit. As long as they put your information on the invoice that they email you, that you can use that. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be at MSC, Thomas. Yeah,
yes,
for
sure.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll
see you there, hopefully.
Yep. Does any website work to get ungated? I mean, like websites that don't ship your product and our scams won't work. But a really good way to kind of know a litmus test is if it shows on Rakuten's, the cashback portals, right? And then if it shows on Rakuten on the cashback portals, or if it's the brand website, yeah.
Yeah. How do you go about IP warning? Should you avoid anything that says IP suspected? Yeah. So that's just if it historically has very few sellers, or if like the brand has ever been on it, then it might have like an IP warning. If you see like a bunch of third-party sellers on it and no history, people getting kicked off, then it's safe. Because basically some brands, 100% of the listings are monitoring, some literally one listing they're monitoring, and everything else is safe. So just some take it more seriously than others. Yeah, exactly. So just look at the look at that seller count, see if they've ever kicked anybody off. Look at similar items as well. See how it's looking basically.
Yep. Yeah, life's good, guys. Appreciate all you guys tapping in for this edition of BOH as well. Every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, we're going to get you guys right? And we also post a ton of good content throughout the week on our pages too, if you want on-demand stuff. This week, I posted a full online arbitrage guide for beginners, right? So everything you need to know, and one specifically targeted at how to build like a 3K a month side hustle, 3K a month profit side hustle with online arbitrage too, as well.
Yep. Yeah, good vibes as always. Every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we got set scheduled streams around this time. You can, like I said, you can hit the bell if you want to know when we are going live. Like it feels very YouTubery, but it's true. Like if you want to come hang out, you gotta do it. And yeah, I'm gonna go wrap up filming. I got another like 2 hour long Amazon video headed y'all's way, so I'm gonna go wrap up filming that. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Good vibes.
Yeah. See you guys.
Let's get after it today.
Great.